On this week's episode number 14 of Swami Says Small Business Tips, we're going to be talking about pressure makes the diamond, how you can't build an empire by yourself, and how to deal with pressure. So for the first one, hashtag PMTD. This is what I kind of utilize on Twitter. It means pressure makes the diamond. What I mean by that is find people that can withstand pressure, because there's always going to be lots of it, whether it's clients knocking at your door, whether it's customers complaining about your product, service, whatever the hell it's going to be stuff that needs to be solved quick. When it needs to be solved quick, pressure is what's up next. So definitely be conscious of finding people that can withstand pressure and large amounts of it, and people that you don't have to emotionally manage once that pressure is there. You're going to have to do it a little bit at some level all the time, but individuals that you don't have to additionally emotional manage, kind of go out of your way to emotional manage because they can't handle the pressure. But then again, that's dependent on their added value, which we talked about within the last episode. However, find the people that can withstand it. Right now, one thing that we do with Limbic interviews is Mark Bricker will come in, and he's a head of creative content for Limbic Digital. He'll have the interview with the interviewee and kind of tell them this is what the company is about in a soft manner, tell them that these are our strategies, this is how we were built, all that type of generic basic info, something you need to do in every interview. But then he'll also say, you know what, the second part of this interview is you meeting with the owner, and he'll kind of build the situation up to, and he always says this is, he's pretty passionate about his work, so don't let anything he says hurt your feelings, in a sense. And when I walk in the room, I do make it a little bit of high pressure situation where I state my demands early. I tell them how it's exactly going to go. Tell them they're not going to be paid that much. Tell them I'm going to work them till they're bone. I'll tell them this stuff straight to their face, because 90% of people will not call me back, and that's what I want. I want that 10%. I'm not going to go through the bullshit of finding out that individual is not that 10% after I do all the formality, bullshit, paperwork, everything, that process you have to go through to hire someone. I want to know quick, right off the bat, what their situation is. So PMTD, utilize that. Can't build an empire by yourself. This is basically the Limbic pipeline. One of the most important steps of doing this is networking with people. However, we'll talk about this in a later episode. I hate networking because I think it's fake, and you essentially have to be someone you're not to get something that you want. When I talk about networking to build the empire by yourself, you want to look for individuals that think eye to eye with you, that understand how you work, that are real in terms of a million things, in terms of how they respond to feedback, how they understand that this is going to be a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of pivoting, going to take a lot of iteration. But network with those real individuals. They will see your character over time as you progress through your journey of starting a business, and they will come to you in a sense, but you also have to go to them and ensure that those bridges never burn down. Not only do they don't burn down, but you will highly maintain those bridges, because at some point you're going to have to approach them. So definitely you can't build the empire by yourself, and one of the essential parts of doing that is networking, but at the same time being human, respecting people, understanding constraints, and essentially the most important one is stating your demands early. Is, look, I will tell someone right now if I'm trying to work with them, is, look, I'm a crazy motherfucker. I'm going to expect the shit out of you. Anything that you submit me within the first week is going to be shit. Get used to being critiqued on a regular basis. Get used to not being paid as much as you want to be. All these things I'm going to tell them right away. At some level, if you tell an individual these things right away, it creates the trust, because you're confident. You're showcasing your confidence. At the end, I'll tell them, you will gain more from this experience than any other experience you will ever do within your life. Hands down. And that's what I'll leave it at. Now I'm taking advantage of, and I might have talked about this earlier, curiosity and drama being the one emotion that is the strongest emotion in enticing people. They'll wonder is, why can this experience help me out more than any other experience in the long run? You know what, I'll try out doing all these things to see. When they get in that, when they take that step, most of them stay. All of them have stayed. Small business tip number 3, how to deal with pressure. My situation is different than anyone else's situation. How I deal with it is I add more pressure on. I tell more people about what I'm doing. I include more people within my vision. A lot of my friends I include within my vision. I tell them what moves I'm about to make or where I'm about to go. and I put more pressure on from a social media standpoint in terms of wait and see type bullshit. Get your popcorn ready. Once I do that, it puts more pressure on me to be like, you know what, your image is on the line, your reputation is on the line, you got to step up to the plate. That's how I deal with pressure, is I put more on. Most individuals though, I don't even know how to tell you the answer to how to deal with pressure just in general. That's just developing alligator skin and being that type of individual. On next week's episode, we're going to be talking about keeping everything transparent and the importance of that within an overall team or an overall group, along with iteration and how it's a constant process. Same thing as pivoting, and how there's only a small number of people that understand the real process of pivoting and how it takes place. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to episode 15 of Swami Says Small Business Tips. 3 business tips a week will keep your margins deep.